7:51 here, Big 550 KTRS. All right, this one is, this is interesting, and this is kind of a big deal. Today in St. Louis, in honor of the 90th birthday of Eddie Gaedel, they're having the world's tiniest parade. To talk about it is our guest, Aaron Perlett. Aaron, welcome, Big 550 KTRS.
Nice to be back. Thank you.
You are a partner with Elasticity, is that correct?
That is my day job, yes.
Okay. There's a couple things going on here now. There is a bar in St. Louis called...
Tiny Bar.
Where is it?
It is on Locust Street between 10th and 11th Street in lovely downtown St. Louis.
Okay, and in honor of the Tiny Bar, what's going on today?
Well, we just opened Tiny Bar 2 weeks ago, but the patron saint of the bar is Eddie Gaedel, who's arguably the greatest Major League Baseball hitter in history, even though he never had a hit.
Right.
I played for the St. Louis Browns for one at-bat, and he wore a Bat Boy jersey that actually belonged to Bill DeWitt, the owner of the Cardinals.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Today, and they put a 1/8 on his back because that was when Bill Veeck owned the Browns.
Yes.
And, he never enjoyed theater at all, but. We started Tiny Bar. It is St. Louis's tiniest bar, and Eddie is the tiniest player in Major League Baseball history. So we celebrate all things tiny, and today would have been his 90th birthday. So we're going to have the world's tiniest parade that'll last 1/8 of a block, and finish in front of the Tiny Bar, and then we're going to have a street party just to celebrate.
So you have everything tiny. A tiny dog. You have Thumbelina.
Thumbelina, the world's tiniest horse. It's 13 inches high.
How tiny is your bar?
It's 250 square feet.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
ridiculous.
Okay, so to go, we don't want to miss the parade. So when does it start?
So it will start sharply at 7 p.m. right as we shut down the streets. The city has been kind enough to allow us to do so.
Oh, that's nice. Now, do you have a number of porta potties on there just in case? You have tiny porta potties?
So our neighbors at Bridge Tap Room, they actually have some restrooms. We have a restroom at Tiny Bar, so we're going to have indoor restrooms, so you won't have to go into one of those horrific porta potties.
This is a great parade. This is awesome, man. You don't even need a porta potty for this. All right. So that's tonight at 7 o'clock.
Tonight is 7 o'clock.
Do you have any of Eddie Gaedel's relatives who are there celebrating with you?
We don't, because they actually have a huge Eddie Gaedel birthday celebration in Central Illinois, where he's originally from, and that's actually happening today as well at the Eddie Gaedel Pub and Grill.
Oh.
I kid you not.
But that's a big pub and grill.
I would imagine it's modestly larger than Tiny Bar.
Is Bill DeWitt going to be there to help celebrate?
The funny thing is I've told the younger Bill DeWitt about it.
Yes.
Because he and I know each other, and so he's very well aware that it's happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if some Cardinals stop by.
It is true. It's a true story that his dad was part owner of the Browns with Bill Veeck, and he was a ball boy.
He was a bat boy for the team, and his jersey is the one. It's actually in the Cardinals Hall of Fame at Ballpark Village right now.
Right.
You can see it, but they slapped 1/8 on the back for that one at bat.
But then Major League Baseball then banned little people from playing in the major leagues?
As far as you know, that would go well beyond my understanding of
All right.
anything real or meaningful.
What's voodoo.com?
Startupvoodoo.com. So among the several things I do, and this is probably a little more serious, over the last couple of years, we've had an enormous growth in entrepreneurism and startup activity here in Greater St. Louis. And one of the things we had never had was what I would call a thought leadership conference, where we bring in thought leaders from around the country and put on a one-day program for startups, entrepreneurism, economic development, business growth within the startup community. And so that will happen on June 18th at Hotel Lumiere.
And you're going to sell tickets and people can come and listen to all these experts.
Yeah, you can go to startupvoodoo.com. This is our second year, actually. Last year we had about 400 people. This year we're expecting about 600. We have some amazing speakers, including Maxine Clark, the founder of Build-A-Bear, as well as a guy named Sam Altman, who is from St. Louis. He went to John Burroughs, requisite mention of a high school.
Sure, certainly understandable.
But he runs something called Y Combinator, which is considered the world's leading startup accelerator.
Okay, so we got startupvoodoo.com to find out more about that, and then tinybarstl.com. You guys have been around how long? Just 2 weeks?
Tiny Bar just opened 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. How are things going? I heard it's jam-packed.
It's been great. It is jam-packed.
Do you have tiny drinks too, or
We actually
regular
do. So
size?
with any kind of drink we serve, you can get a tall pour or a short pour.
That is awesome.
We're consistent to message. You'd think I was a marketer by day.
TinyBarSTL.com is the website. Where is the Tiny Bar again?
It's in lovely downtown St. Louis on Locust Street between 10th and 11th.
So did you say next to the tap room? Is that right?
Yeah, directly next to the tap room. They've been great neighbors and have welcomed us with open arms.
Yeah, which is right there, like 20th and Washington Avenue, like right behind 20th and
It's
Washington.
a little east of that. David Bailey actually has 3 restaurants all within a block of us, whether it's Rooster, Bailey's Range, and right next door, Bridge Tap Room.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so the parade starts at 7?
7 p.m. tonight.
Do you have a staging area? So, like traffic-wise, you have to watch out so people can avoid the traffic?
Yeah, we are going to be shutting down the block on Locust between 10th and 11th, beginning at 7 o'clock, maybe a little earlier, but we're trying to wait until the rush hour. People kind of get out of downtown right after work.
Yeah, sure.
So you probably do want to avoid. If you're heading west on Locust to get to the interstate, you probably do want to avoid that.
Do you have a grand marshal for the parade?
See, it's fantastic what's going to happen. We're going to have a one-piece band that's going to lead it. We're going to have a tiny dog, a tiny horse. We're going to have a tiny float that's literally 3 feet by 2 feet. Tiny float.
A tissue box.
And it actually has tissue all over it in tiny.
You're gonna have a Leprechaun stallion as opposed to Clydesdale.
This horse. Wait till you see Thumbelina.
Thumbelina is cute.
It's extraordinary. This thing is like a dog or a cat. And then we're gonna have to end the parade. We're gonna have one of those tiny smart cars that you expect 14 clowns to.
Yeah.
But a guy named Travis Sheridan, who owns this tiny car, is going to round out the parade.
Ladies and gentlemen, the TinyBarSTL.com to find out more in honor of Eddie Goodell's birthday. Go and enjoy it on a Monday night in downtown St. Louis. Also, startupvoodoo.com. Aaron, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. 7:58. Tim Weiland. That sounds like a parade right